Why did I decide to take a sip right when we started? What's up, everybody? Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is happy Friday. We are like, I don't know, maybe 10 days out to Light It Up Expo. It's coming up quick. I say that. I've been waiting 11 and a half months for this show, but a lot of moving parts, and finally we're on the home stretch. So wanted to just talk about a few things that are going to be happening at Light It Up Expo, some announcements, and then excited to be joined today by Ryan Williams with FX. So an awesome vendor that's going to be there, and give them some love as well. So Ryan, thanks for joining me, man.
Hey, thanks, and happy to be here, Ryan.
Love it. Well, seriously, I can't tell you how much I appreciate your support for wanting to be part of Light It Up Expo. You know, I've been saying like, hey, we're gonna have the best manufacturers, the best distributors there. Like, this is what it's all about. And so I'm like, I mean, I've installed many a Luxor systems. I've installed a lot of FX. I'm like, you guys kind of have to be there, right? But it's really cool to have you part of the show. And we just recently you gave everyone an awesome tour of one of your facilities in Tijuana, so we can talk about that.
Yeah,
But yeah, I just want to have you on here and introduce yourself, and maybe just do that now. Maybe introduce yourself, who you are, and what you do at FX, and who FX Luminaire is.
yeah, absolutely. To start off, I've been with Hunter and FX Luminaire for actually 15 years. Next month, I hit my 15-year anniversary, which is
That's
awesome.
awesome, man. Congrats. That's
Yeah,
cool.
so born and raised in Dallas, Texas. Actually met my wife up in college, and she dragged me down to her hometown, which is the San Diego area. And that's kind of where I fell in love with San Diego, as well as learned about Hunter and started off working with them right out of grad school. So I've been here for, like I said, 15 years, really primarily in that product development world, developing fixtures, controls, and other tools and resources for our contractors and customers.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love your role. Like, I love the fact that you're product development, and you get to deal with there's so many angles. Like, you're involved with everything. Because when I was out there, I think it was last year,
Yeah.
and we're like touring your San Diego campus, and it truly is a campus, you guys. If you're ever even remotely close or even not close, go harass Ryan and say, "Give me the tour,"
Yeah.
because you guys have these pretty regularly anyway. But just to see how like engineering works with marketing, works with sales, works with product development, like it was crazy. And so your role, you get to like really, meet with contractors and meet with designers and like what's important to you. And so it's not just, I think one of the things that I find annoying in the world is when you can tell that a product was built by an engineer who's actually never done the thing. Like,
Oh,
it's
for
actually
sure.
like the coolest thing ever, but it's cool for an engineer, not cool for an installer, not cool for design or whatever. And so I think your role is just so unique and so awesome that it really helps make sure that you guys are putting products out there that are not just awesome, but like work, and they're beneficial to everybody involved.
Well, and that's what's fun about it too. So having done this for so long, traveling literally the world to see how they make lighting fixtures in Australia and Asia and Europe and other parts of the world. It's fun to kind of take it all together, see what other manufacturers are doing, see what the industry is doing in general, and making the best product that we can for our industry here for FX Luminaire. So it is a fun role. I'm not going to lie, and I really enjoy it for sure.
Well, you do a fantastic job. You always have good energy. I mean, you took us on. So just so everyone's kind of understand what happened here, it was a couple weeks ago. I was down in California for the AOLP conference,
Yeah.
and Ryan raised his hand. Hey, well, we could just take a group of you guys down to Tijuana, and that was so cool. Um, it was funny. You're like introducing. You're like, we have 3 buildings. This one's 150,000 square feet. That one's a million, whatever. You said the numbers, and then the guy who runs the place is like, yeah, this one's 50,000, and you're like, wait, 50,000? No, guys, that must be like square meters or something, because it
Yeah.
truly is. And we hadn't gone in the building yet, so I'm like, this guy is Ryan making up numbers here? And then you like go in the door to the opening, and you're like, oh, it might be more than 150,000 square
Sure.
feet. I mean, it was massive, right? And so that was kind of a funny start. But what it was so cool is like, it had nothing to do with the lights at a certain point. I was just so fascinated. Like, somebody invented this machine to make this light or this part of the light. And just to see this whole orchestra of how everything was super organized, super clean. I mean, it was just a manufacturing orchestra. I mean, it was just beautiful to see everything. And then, I expected automation. I had seen some of that from you guys before, but then I was also surprised how like it will go from automation and machines to like a person doing very individualized either
Mhm.
quality control, taking a light out of a box and inspecting it and making sure it works and doing all this to how they make sure the silicone's perfect on the lens. I mean, just so many cool things. I think anyone who's serious about being a professional in the lighting industry, it's just a must. You got to go do the campus tours at FX Luminaire. Really, really cool.
Yeah, so it was yeah, it was a lot of fun to bring everybody down. It's always convenient when an ALP happens to be in our backyard, right? So going down to the factory and taking everybody there, it's definitely a trip down memory lane for me because in operations is technically where I started at FX. So back in those days, I was the manufacturing engineer and the quality engineer and the fill in the blank for all the different hats I kind of had to wear at that factory. And over the years, as FX has grown, got adopted into Hunter, um, my one hat that I used to wear got turned into a whole team, right? And
That
for
is
each of
cool.
those different hats got turned into a team. So it's fun to go down there and even say hello to some of the new engineers or the new interns and kind of talk about, this is how we used to do it 15 years ago, and this is the iterations of what we've done to make it even better. So it's I have a strong, strong love affair with manufacturing in general, just because it's my background and where I started here at Hunter.
That is cool to see though. Like you said, like you used to do all those roles in one per se, but now it's like there's actual like a team and there's a manager and there's all these people that are
Yeah,
doing it so much better than you used to do, Ryan.
so much better, so much.
Well, that's cool. Well, hey, also I forgot to announce, um, if you guys are still, if you don't have a ticket, Jerica just told me we have 12 tickets left for Light It Up Expo. So we are getting down to the wire here. I already know I know the future. Friends reach out, hey, I know it's sold out, but like we're buddies, right? Like, hey, I'm in your program. I'm like, I don't, what do I say in that moment? Like, we don't have, it's not like fake scarcity. It's like Christmas. Like Christmas is a real deadline. You don't get to be like, oh, I'll move Christmas back. There's
Sure.
real deadlines here, people. So if you want to come, just get your ticket now. It's already full. So that's all I'll say on that. Um, I want to talk a little bit about FX.
Yeah.
Um, what would you say maybe are there a couple of things that you can think of that maybe are your common sense that you're like, oh, everybody knows that about FX, but maybe aren't the common sense of just either someone newer in the industry or someone who might just buy like the basic FX products that doesn't know what the capability of your product can
Hmm.
do, or maybe even certain products that you think people should be using more of that they just didn't know should be in their arsenal.
I'd say there's a handful of directions I can go with that. One of which is I think most people, when they hear FX, they often think of the Luxor itself, right? And so
Yeah.
those two tend to go hand in hand. But even with the Luxor, there are so many options for flexibility with the Luxor that I think that's a piece that people don't that people tend to forget, right? We've got a classic MR16 lamp that you can drop into any fixture that can work with the Luxor for your zoning and dimming anywhere on the system. We've got these little we call them cubes, right? These cubes that can allow you to control anything in your outdoor environment for the most part. Depending on if it's our fixtures, another manufacturer's fixtures, if it's a relay to turn on another transformer, a relay to turn on a pool pump, or pond pump, not pools, um, or fire pits or gates or other things, right? The Luxor is really designed to kind of be your complete outdoor automation system in a sense. And I think that's one point. That's one point that people tend to forget when they hear in the Luxor. I'd
Yeah.
say
Well, I'm glad.
another point is the fact that we kind of pride ourselves on having all these different buckets, right? In terms of um, product offerings, right? From the inexpensive, dumbed down, simple on-off type fixtures, all the way up to the premium brass stuff and the RGBW color changing. So people tend to forget that, hey, we've got a lot of different options and a lot of different groups and categories, which all come with different price points as well.
Yeah, well, I find it interesting because, and I'm glad you brought that up because someone was asking the other day. They're like, "Hey, I've got a client that I was looking at the Luxor ZDC system, but they don't want the color. Like, what else should I use?" And I'm like, "Just use the ZD, like just the zoning dimming." I don't
Yeah,
think people realize that you can do that. And even you just reminded me of something that, like, if the integrated fixture ZD is outside of your budget, then let's do a drop in because that's also zoning dimming. Yeah. I mean, it sounds basic to you. Like I
yeah,
said, that's common
absolutely.
sense to you. You're like, but I think a lot of people overlook that stuff and they're missing out on opportunities because of it.
Yeah, it's a great way to kind of get your feet wet, right? You don't have to jump into the color piece. Your understanding of the system, how it works, what's the best way to integrate with it, all those things with just white. There's a lot of people that say, hey, I don't want all the crazy colors in a sense. Well, that's totally fine. And personally speaking, I don't like it either all the time. It's great. It's great to have your greens and reds for Christmas, but in a sense, at 10 o'clock at night, I turn all those colors off and I make it just go back to white at my house. And it's the same thing
Yeah.
throughout the year. Nobody likes to have the colors all the time, but it's timely and it's flexible and it's easy and it's fun, and the homeowners just love it to death. So all those things together make it a perfect system for sure.
Well, and you know what's interesting about the outdoor lighting industry, and I'm learning stuff every week, literally every week. You guys sell to different, segments of the industry. I just got back from Light It Up or Light It Up, Light Up Palooza.
Yeah,
Okay. And it's interesting because, like, 2 weeks before that, I was at AOLP. At AOLP, the only complaint I hear about FX is people are like, yeah, but it's just, it's a little pricey, right? They're thinking of the integrated ZDC, Luxor, whatever. And like, that's how they think. Well, I didn't hear that at all at Light Up Palooza.
sure.
Like, that's not even like, they would never say that. You know what I mean? Like, there's, they're like, oh, it's a great product, and they like that it integrates with the all the different home automation systems and stuff like that. So I do think it's interesting where, like, life is all about perspective. One person can think, oh my gosh, it's so expensive, and then someone else is like, that's not that bad at all. Like, they're just marking it up by a percentage anyway. They don't care. They're going to sell to a client that already trusts them, that's already invested in them. So
Mhm.
I think that's one thing. One thing I like to do by going around these different shows is to change my own perspective, see what's possible, get around people that are doing bigger things than me, and it changes your perspective. And you're like, what? I remember when I started my lighting business, I thought $4,000 was a lot of lighting for a lighting system. I'm like, oh, a
Sure.
lot of money. I'm like, $4,000. Now it's like, is that even enough to get you out to a job site, right? So, um, I don't know. I think people need to, in the, we'll call it, in the green industry, right? They do need to change their perspective and realize that even your most expensive fixture that's integrated, all that, is actually not that bad compared to like what you're getting out of it.
Well, and you're right in that, comparing, let's say, green industry to an audiovisual industry. Yeah, you could definitely have that switch. But even within the green industry, right, you've got a lot of contractors and companies who they don't care necessarily what the price is, because it's the features, it's the benefits, and it's the value that they're offering to their homeowners, right? So yeah, I hear you all the time. Raise your prices, right? And that's the way to do it in a sense, because it gives our contractors and our customers here the freedom to be more successful in their business. And FX Luminaire is here to help them do that in a lot of different ways, not just on the product side or the control side, but in a lot of ways to go with that.
Yeah, another thing I want to bring up about FX I really like is your ability to integrate, right? And so, it's interesting. Most business owners, and I'll put myself in the same category. When I started, I was just competing on price. Like, I didn't know another way. After several years of learning and losing deals and stuff like that, I realized when someone started bringing up price, like, I don't know, you guys just seem like you're so much higher and they're the same thing. If you're presenting the same thing, why would they not want to spend less?
Yeah.
I'm a homeowner too. If I think I can get the same thing for a lower price, I'd be an idiot not to, right?
Mhm.
So a lot of it is like, how do you create value and how do you differentiate yourself? So if you're bringing up the same thing all the time, you're probably going to do that. So people will be amazed if no one in their market was offering a ZDC system, let's just say, you'd be dumb not to, because you'll take someone who like told you their budget was $10,000, and you could sell them a $30,000 system. You literally can do this. And it's by asking good questions, finding out what's important to them, how they use the space, what they need to accomplish. Because again, people, a lot of times they just don't know what's possible. Ignorant homeowners, they don't know. They're like, hey, I want some lighting. Well, if your questions end with that, you're probably going to sell them a basic $6,000 system. But if you
Mhm.
can really find out what matters to them and things they value and how they use
Yeah.
their space, there's I'm not going to say there's no limit. They're probably not going to just automatically spend $500,000 on a lighting system, but you'll be able to get them a lot more than they originally knew was even possible. And I believe in the industry, if we are a professional, if we are an expert, we have that moral obligation to present all the options. And then we can educate our clients so they make an educated decision instead of one that they're telling you, I want to light here, I want to light here, and I only want to spend this. Well, that doesn't add value to the client experience. So,
Yeah, and I think in general, even even from a product standpoint, it's much easier when we understand the true needs of our homeowners. We understand, okay, hey, what are you really looking for, right? Are you looking for different scenes? Are you looking for the ability for the lights next to the windows to go off at a certain time? Are you looking for do you have an early bedtime? Are you looking for a different look at 3 o'clock in the morning versus at 8 o'clock at night? All those questions. By the time you ask those questions, it's very easy for a homeowner to say, well, yes, I want your upgraded system. Yes, I want more controls in my property. Yes, I want my lights to respond in a similar way outside as they do inside. Yes, I want the whole system to be integrated together. And so by the time you get the homeowners answering yes and yes and yes, then it makes it so much easier for them to say, yes, I want the control system that you're offering.
I feel like most lighting manufacturers, if you wanted to integrate with a home automation system, you can get a switch from the AV guy, installed on an outlet, and the lights are going to come on and off. Talk about what you guys have done to take that to the step further, where it's literally fully integrated, and what systems is it compatible with?
Well, I would say you know one of the benefits that Luxor offers, in a sense, right, is its integration with home automation, right? So your classic systems that most integrators will work with, your Lutrons, Crestrons, Control 4s, Savants, Elon, ATI. There's a whole list and range of those options, right? And yes, you could totally have a automated switch that's hooked up to a Lutron system to turn the transformer on and off each night, right? Or you can even have a smart plug adapter that plugs into their system. But again, that's almost like a system-wide control, right? That's the transformer goes on, the transformer goes off. And if you want any element of control, meaning I want the lights next to the windows to go off earlier than the lights next to the trees in the front yard. Okay, well, in that case, you've got to have two transformers, two switches, and two sets of wires that are probably overlapping each other. And if you want another set of control in there, then you've got to add a third switch, a third transformer, and a third set of wires. And so that's the beauty of the Luxor system, right? Is the fact that it's got that power line communication using the same wire that everybody is already using now. All the fixtures are addressable, and you create your scenes based on the unique needs of the homeowner and the different scenes that they want to create and that they want to live in each and every night or each and every week.
What was it? So there was a new product that, which by the way is awesome, because I mean it's on their app, their phone, and you can customize that, but if they ever want to make changes or whatever, they can do that, and makes it super, I guess, more customizable for that client. Kyle was just showing me, and where were we at? We're in Austin at Lightapalooza. That new product, I don't remember the name of it, but it allows you to basically go, and if you want to like reorder the fixture or reassign it or something like that, you can do it out in the field, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a new device. It's an upgraded device from what we've had in the past, right? It's this we call it the old version. We call it the Lamb. The new device is called the Luma Key.
Okay.
Similar concept, but it's a version 2 and a significantly higher version 2. We should probably call it version 3 or 4. And that what that really does is allows you to kind of walk around the property and basically point and shoot. I want this fixture to have this group assignment number, or this fixture to have this group assignment number. Kind of fits in your hand. It feels like almost like a presentation clicker, um, and its ability to communicate with your phone and then with the Luxor to make those assignments is drastically better, more than anything else. So that product
Is
officially launched to distribution earlier this week. So you'll start to see
okay.
social posts about that next week.
That's sweet. So does that mean that's how you're going to be recommending people do their original programming now? Is using that Luma key?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, that is sick. Yeah, that'd be great. All right. Well, if people, well, all right. Do we got to talk about anything else? Did we cover? Is there anything else you want to talk about?
I think that's pretty much it. I mean, there's always new stuff coming from FX Luminaire. We've got a great team of engineers, product managers, and the whole works downstream that are developing products all day long, and that's what they do. So there's going to be all kinds of cool new stuff to show off at Light It Up Expo, and as well as a lot of great things coming out throughout the rest of this year. So looking forward to it for sure.
Love it. Well, thanks again for being part of it. I really can't tell you how much I appreciate the support. It's great for the industry. This is only our second year doing this. We doubled up our numbers from last year, and that's really what we're going to do next year. Double it up next year, and then the year after, and then by then we might be like, okay, let's. I don't want to like get one of those huge convention centers where you got to rent carpet. Like that's annoying. I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't want to rent carpet. Why would you want to rent carpet, right? So we're going to try to keep it like big enough to add value, but small enough to like, not make it a hassle for everybody. So, but I mean, honestly, this industry has just needed this for a long time. Where there's a lot of people still entering in the landscape lighting industry, and it's really important for us that we not only maintain standards but really elevate the standard.
Sure.
Make sure not just from a, I mean, I'm the business guy, right? Like, of course, I want them to charge the right pricing and all that, but that's so that they can afford to buy nice quality components, right? So they can afford to slow down on the install and make sure it's being done correctly. And it's really to, really elevate the industry. So, but it's really bringing together permanent lighting, holiday lighting, landscape lighting. And there's a lot of people that have been doing holiday lighting for many, many years, very successful, that have been like kicking themselves like, why am I not getting into landscape lighting? And they're finally taking that leap. And so there's just a lot of demand right now, and it's going to be great for everyone in the industry because there's going to be more education, there's more awareness. And it's so funny because if you're in a market that's got a lot of competition, you're like, oh, I wish I was in a market that didn't have any or a lot of competition. Well, the people that are in markets that don't have a lot of competition want to be in the markets that have a lot, because the more competition is there, the more awareness, the more Facebook ads you see, the more direct mail, the more marketing happens. People are going to start to think landscape lighting is a normal thing. And up until now, that is not true. I mean, less than probably 1% of like really nice homes have professionally designed and installed lighting. So we got a lot of runway in front of us. I'm excited about it. So if people want to get a hold of you, Ryan, or get a hold of FX, what's the best way to do that? Obviously you'll be at Light It Up, but if they're like, no, I'm impatient, I want now, what do they do?
Handful of reasons, handful of ways. If you're looking to get a hold of me, right, LinkedIn's a great way to do that. If you're looking to get a hold of your local contact, we've got just on fxl.com. There's a little link at the top that says Get FX, and there you can get in contact with a local sales manager or representative for you. That's the
Love
best
it.
way.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, if you have not ever used FX or you're curious on more, go to fxl.com and find a rep. I found, them to be a great company, very like tons of resources. Um, Maybe I shouldn't say this, but I had a guy that would let me, I mean, he would literally like come and do demos for me, show up with the FX demo kit and help me do a demo. Right. And I don't know, can I say that? Because we already did.
You already did, and it's still
So
true. The guys that we have a lot of people, a lot of boots on the street, or boots on the ground. Is that what you say?
on the
Um,
street, I like on the street. It makes you
Either way,
appear
it's
really
we've
tough.
got a lot
Yeah.
of help throughout the.
All right, so go reach out to FX. And guys, again, this is your chance. If you're already coming, you got nothing to worry about. Just show up on March 3rd or 2nd, 3rd or 4th, depending on when you plan on getting in town. It's going to be a great show. If you're on the outside, you don't have a ticket, I don't know how long these 12 tickets are going to last. So we'll see everyone here in about 10 days in Orlando. Thanks, Ryan. I appreciate you, man.